Hey y'all, Suzaku here. Welcome to the visual patch notes guide for Jamie. There's a lot to go through, so let's get started. First up, our one drink standing light punch had a little bit of a hitbox extension, so places where it used to whiff on crouching opponents, it no longer will. It should feel more consistent in general. Next buff we get is on our standing heavy kick. The pushback on block has been reduced, so if you're doing this point blank, you are more likely to pay for it. You can see really what the pushback means here. If I hit on the first active frame and cancel into medium Rekka, there's no problem. But if I do it on the second active frame in the old patch, it misses. But now, it hits just fine. Also, the attack hitbox on that second active frame got moved not just forward, but upward, so it should be easier to hit characters out of the air as well. Look at how tough it is in the old patch. Not that you want to use this button for an anti-air really, but you'll see that it is way more consistent now. I've also found that post SA3, our mid-screen combos have gotten a little bit easier to hit because of this attack hitbox change. Thanks to our improved standing heavy kick, we can also do fun things like this off of our plus 42 setups. Thanks to Pompo Itabashi on Twitter for this one. I'll link their Twitter in the description below. As you can see, this particular setup allows the standing heavy kick to hit raw, which can cancel into heavy Bakkai or into our OD palm. I would suggest probably going into that cancel because if you do accidentally catch them grounded, as shown here, you're going to pay for it if you do the Bakkai. Also, the viability of this setup is going to rely a lot on who you're facing. You can see it works quite well against Luke's jumping heavy kick here, but you'll see it doesn't really work against Yasmin's jumping heavy kick, for example. So if you want to use this technique, your best bet is going to be to practice it against some different characters' jumping normals and see which ones work and which ones don't. As a universal application of this, I like the slight delay heavy kick because you can get that punish counter on their landing frames. Now let's talk about our overhead target combo. We get it at drink level 2, and we used to be -1 after. So if we're in the corner, we didn't really get anything at all, unfortunately. Now we are +2. Which gives us strike throw mix in the corner. Probably best to go into your crouching light punch if you want to go into strike so you can confirm with your lights whether it's counter hit or not and go into the appropriate combo. Or if you think they're going to press on wake up, you can go into crouching medium punch for a nice trade combo. Since this combo with drink gets us to level 3, we also get access to our upgraded Hermit's elbow, which lets us shimmy in the corner now that we are +2 as well, even versus big bodies. If we use the overhead target combo to get to drink 4, we are +5 instead of 2. This not only gives us a meaty command grab, it lets us pressure with our standing medium punch or even do trades with our 9-frame moves. Our overhead target combo is now super useful for us, especially in the corner. Definitely use it. As a Hermit's elbow enjoyer, this next buff speaks to my soul. Before, when we had the drink level 3 Hermit's elbow target combo, we could only really cancel into super with it. But now, we can hit this target combo like 3/4 down the stage and it'll get a wall bounce. When we're far away, we can do things like drive rush into heavies and continue from there. Up close, we can link into anything 10 frames or faster. So this means sweep, this means heavy punch into specials, all of our DPs, as well as our super arts 1 and 3 all work here. I'm sure there'll still be more testing to figure it out, but just some base testing of what's the optimal entry into super art 3. It seems like it's going to be single hit confirming the Hermit's elbow as usual. But if you're not going to do that, go ahead and let the whole target combo rock and link your super after the wall splat. The next part is just showing going into SA3 from the wall splat, from second hit into OD palm, and from single hit confirm, just so you can see the damage differences. From the testing, our lowest damage option is canceling into super off of the second hit of the Hermit's elbow target combo. So at the very least, don't do that if that was your habit. Go into special or go into wall splat, or as I said, the single hit confirm is the highest damage still. But the wall splat isn't the only cool thing about this target combo now. We can cancel the hit into our specials. So heavy Rekka, medium specials, or DI, they all work fine here. On hit, you can drive rush cancel into up to our standing heavy kick, though probably better to do our standing medium punch or crouching heavy kick for our normal stuff. On block, there is a gap, so we can use that if they don't have a reversal to do strike throw. But if they do have a reversal, there's not only the gap on that first hit, so please just don't let this rock randomly, but there's also a gap if we drive rush cancel, so be careful. Even our Rekka has a gap here. One important change is our pushback is increased on hit for the full target combo. We used to be able to drive rush heavy punch versus back rise, but we no longer get that. Our Rekkas also got a buff. You can see that they are a little bit closer than they used to be. But more than that, these things like the reduced horizontal blowback and the increased blowback time for final attack, these have given us new juggles that we didn't have before. With this increased distance forward, you should see they're hitting where they wouldn't usually, so that should hopefully make them more consistent in our grounded combos, and subsequently the juggles. So here you can see how all these buffs work together. If I'm juggling with the Rekka in the old patch, I can only get 2 hits. Now we get all 3. With that increased blowback time though, it means our Oki is different. We used to be plus 27, which let us link an OD palm to be plus 7 after on block. Now we are plus 31 knockdown advantage, so OD palm no longer connects here. Instead, our go-to meaty palm is going to be the heavy palm, which makes us plus 4, and also, with the palm changes, gives us strike throw and shimmy mix. This option doesn't bait drive reversal like the OD palm did, but we definitely get more from it, and if you want to bait wake up parry, if you're using this option, go ahead and just go for medium palm instead. But just remember, the medium palm would be a read, and you'll be minus in their face if they don't parry. Because of the plus 31, we also don't get drive rush 6HK anymore, but we can do dash drive rush jab and get our strike throw shimmy mix from there instead. In juggles for this Rekka, we are now plus 35 on knockdown. This doesn't change too much what we can do mid-screen. We can still do dash, drive up, light Oki, and all our lights will hit except for our crouching one, which we could use as a parry bait if we wanted. Also, we can dash, drive rush up to an 8-frame move and still beat their jab. Plus 35 is too much advantage though to get drive rush overhead, so don't go for that if you are not drink level 4. And speaking of, you can see drink level 4 juggle is plus 34, which gives us our meatiest drive rush overhead that we can do. At plus 34, 8-frame moves will trade, so be careful with that, but you might get something funny like this, so if you want to just let it rock, feel free. But at drink level 4, up to 7-frame moves will beat jab. Another nice thing about plus 34 is it gives Jamie a backdash plus 11. This allows us to drive rush 2 LP and cancel into our ODDP or one of our supers to beat their super on wake up. Hurt boxes, hitboxes, and invincibility frames vary here, so be careful. With our OD Rekkas, they mostly got buffed, but the tiny nerf they have is they do a little bit less drive gauge damage. This is Suzaku from the future, realizing that this is supposed to be normal OD free flow strikes drive chip, and I don't have that clip, so here's drink level 4. Sorry about that. Back to the past with Suzaku. If a little bit less drive chip is all we have to pay for all the utility added to our OD Rekka, I'll gladly pay it. We now have less recovery on the first follow-up attack. This not only will make it a little bit harder to whiff punish in neutral, not that you would necessarily do that, but also places like this where you couldn't connect anything after, you'll be able to link things like DP. We went from -3 after 2 hits to -1 for some pseudo mix, and on block we used to be super punishable after the second hit, and now we are safe. I'm sure there will be more cool juggles discovered, but we can get stuff after the second or the third Rekka thanks to all these combined buffs. Our OD Rekka knockdown advantage is different as well. We went from plus 28 to plus 34, just like our juggled normal drink level 4 Rekka. So this gives us the meaty overhead and everything else that we talked about. I'll give you another one though. We can drive rush jab to be plus 7, which thankfully gives us the tension mix. Here's a little bit more context with our backdash plus 11 setup as well. The drive rush 2LP is plus 3 on block, but again, we can also counter cancel it into our supers or our ODDP if they super. Be sure to check out Broski's vid on plus 11 if you want more context on the benefits of it. I'll put it in the description below. I'm sure we're going to discover some really awesome OD Rekka juggles in the future, but here are some post SA3 routes that I found in my little bit of labbing. The coolest change to me though is since we have increased blowback time for the final attack, we now get some really cool Super Art 2 combos. After a punish counter heavy kick, we can link H Bakkai after. We can use our OD Rekkas here or our OD kick Rekkas. With that reduced blowback time, we can now fully combo every hit. We can even do a variation on the Shen Sao combo now and go into OD Rekka from there, into SA2, and keep our combo going. Depending how you get into the Super Art 2 via the OD Rekka, you'll either be able to drive rush into a normal or go straight into specials. These OD Rekka changes really increased our utility and corner carry with our Super Art 2. Similarly, our Drink Level 4 OD Rekka did get its drive chip reduced, just like the normal version, but we got a ton of buffs as well to compensate for that. At Drink Level 4, we used to be -3 for the first and -10 for the second hit of our OD Rekka. And now we are -1 and -3 respectively. So in Burnout, that second hit is +1 actually. So we have some new Burnout routes with this Rekka. Just like our normal OD Rekka, their Drink Level 4 gives us new connections after SA2 that we didn't have before. Grounded, we can link Standing Heavy Punch into specials or directly into our medium or OD specials. Drive Rush Crouching Heavy Punch is also an option here if you so desire. If we go into OD Rekka SA2 via our 6HK target combo, we can link directly into our heavy specials. And though it's not that likely we'll hit it in a real match, we get some crazy coast-to-coast options now thanks to this OD Rekka. They're still both just a little different from each other, but our OD Rekkas are so good now. They buffed our kick Rekkas as well, just like our normal ones, so whereas it used to not even be able to fully combo from a juggle, you can definitely make it combo. It's still not super consistent, but it's worth using sometimes. And for our palms, the hurt box got retracted a bit. You can see where it would get hit here. I also found I was often trading with things like Burn Knuckle, and with this patch, it can still trade, but it's way easier to beat it than it used to be. Now my favorite change is our palms used to have a lot of pushback even when it was plus. Look, I can't even connect my standing heavy kick here. So even though you could be plus, there really wasn't that much of a benefit to it outside of some meaty setups. But even with the meaty setups, you weren't getting strike throw mix. Essentially, the palms were giving us a space trap, but once they learned the matchup, it was pretty one-dimensional. We didn't have anything else we can go to. They can just not press and return back to neutral. So our only real options that we used to have would be sweep, which is risky, or go into heavy kick and drive rush cancel, which then could create some mix, but it costs 3 bars. Now though, we have like 2 different types of palm. The plus palm, which will create the screen shake and also way less pushback, or the non-plus palm, which still gives us a lot of space trap potential. This adds a whole nother layer with our palm mix that's going to allow us to add to the opponent's mental stack. Play with the pushback a bit on your own so that you're not whiffing in their face, but you'll be able to threaten high, low, mid-screen at least now. The rest of this mid-screen section is just showing you the different spacings that you can be plus with our different palms. In the corner and with meaty setups, this shines even more because now we'll get strike throw shimmy mix off of most if not all of our meaty palms, which gives us an extra reason not only to work on our meaty palm setups, but also on the perfect parry baits with palm. Being able to add this meaty palm pressure into strike throw shimmy mix to our already threatening corner game is going to be very beneficial, I think. Just be sure to include some palm whiffs on your wake up pressure as well to keep them guessing. So I filmed a bunch of stuff for these Bakkai changes, but most of it I think has to do with these SA2 routes and different combos into the Bakkai to make sure it's more consistent. If you notice those Bakkai changes in another way, feel free to let me know in the comments below. This has been the visual patch notes guide for Jamie. I didn't find all of this tech myself though, big thanks to the Jamie Discord and the Jamie Twitter. I really like all of the Jamie changes, but let me know which one's your favorite. I'll be doing an updated Hermit's Elbow combo video since we have these new options, as well as my Terry and Alex patch notes video coming up soon. I'd love a like and a subscribe if this was useful for you. I've also opened a Buy Me a Coffee account if you want to tip me while I work towards making my YouTube monetized. This has been Suzaku. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next one.